Hey you guys, happy Sunday. Welcome to our Sundays with Summit Health. Thank you for joining us, whether you're watching this live or whether you're choosing to watch this after. I appreciate you taking the time to take in this information. So this last week we had a ton of questions about seed cycling. This is something that I really dove into with you guys probably a little over, sorry, I'm going to turn that off. I've got my notes here. We dove into it a little over 2 years ago, but I love re-digging into it and sharing with you guys information. You know that we as coaches with Summit Health are always trying to educate ourselves, learn more, work smarter, find ways that we can help you guys see more success. And so really looking into ways that we can balance hormones in a natural and healthy manner is so phenomenal. So if you haven't had a chance to take a look at Coach Lauren's video last week, she talked about birth control and what that can mean for sometimes for our weight loss journey. The gives and the takes of it, things to consider. Super, super phenomenal information, you guys. So if you have not had time, please go back and listen to that. This week we're going to talk about balancing hormones. And what we're really going to talk about is specific ways that we can do that. And I know primarily I'm always talking to you ladies, right? Generally I'm talking to you ladies. We've got a lot more hormonal fluctuations going on than a lot of our guys do. But the reality is, gentlemen, hormones matter. Let's be honest here, one of the healthiest signs of healthy hormones in a guy is that morning erection. And if that's not happening, then that's a sign that we need some hormonal supplementation or we need some hormonal balance. Healthy libido, healthy sex drive. In our relationships, these things really matter. And just in everyday life, it's really a sign of optimal health. So it's something that we need to have conversations about. I understand it can be a little uncomfortable, but if you're experiencing these things, ladies, if we have super uncomfortable periods, really, really heavy periods, painful periods, we need to dive into it. We need to figure out what is going on. If we're starting to maybe enter that menopausal phase, maybe we're on again, off again, hot flashes, lots of discomfort when it comes to those things. Is there things that we can be doing to balance our hormones so that that process or that change in life can be less uncomfortable, right? Less dramatic, less uncomfortable. What can we do to help? So first and foremost, here's what we're going to talk about. We are going to talk about seed cycling. So let me pull up, I've got a couple notes here. That first of all, I want to explain to you guys what seed cycling is. So to be honest, seed cycling was developed over 100 years ago. And what they found is that introducing select omega fatty acids into our diet during certain phases, the estrogen phase and the progesterone phase of our cycle, proved to be really, really helpful for things like endometriosis, irregular periods, really heavy flow periods, loss of libido, loss of sex drive, lumps in our breasts, thyroid nodules, thyroid issues. It's shown to help thyroid issues, hair loss or brittle hair, things like hot flashes, night sweats, fatigue, and mood swings. So what they found is that if they could increase or boost healthy estrogen levels during the estrogen phase of our cycle, which is typically days 1 through 14, then what they wanted to do is produce or encourage healthy progesterone production during the second phase of our cycle, and that's days 14 through 28. So I'm going to reference my second set of notes here. Thinking about that, let's get here. Here we go. Generally what they came up with is, okay, where can we find these healthy omegas that support that estrogen phase? Flaxseed. Flaxseed does that very, very naturally. Secondly, pumpkin seeds. So they started developing a method called seed cycling. Doctors, homeopathic, medicine practitioners, years and years ago started thinking, okay, let's support these naturally. So for 2 weeks out of a woman's cycle, they would have her supplement with flaxseed and pumpkin seed. Then our hormones start to shift. Our bodies are getting ready to slough that lining or to carry a baby. And we can support that days 14 through 28, which is our progesterone phase, that would be considered our luteal phase, with things like sunflower seeds and sesame seeds. Okay, so this proved to be really, really effective. As the years went on, what they found was really what was making the difference was those essential fatty acids that were regularly being injected or introduced into our diet. And so what they found was we could see almost as tremendous success in cycling the seeds as we can in simply introducing those seeds into our diets every single day. So that is why we developed our Betty Bite recipe. I was trying to think of a fun way to call them something that the guys would enjoy. I called them our Frisky Fred Bites. Micah, one of our clients out in California, he deemed them kinky cookies. Whatever it is, they are an awesome way for us as both male and females to introduce healthy essential fatty acids into our diet every single day and really be supporting our hormones. This is something that we need, and I want to discuss why. Why might hormones be out of balance? Okay, first and foremost, you guys, we live in a world that is dominated by phytoestrogens. Plastics, fragrances, air pollution, hormones in our food, our milk, our meat, things that are grown, with hormones to encourage faster growth. We are bombarded with phytoestrogens. So very often, if we were to test hormones, which is something that we can do, right? Some of you as clients of ours, we've done Dutch tests, we've done hormone testing, and we can find out exactly where those hormones are at. We might find that you are extremely estrogen dominant. It's very common. It's very, very common. But what do we need to do? We might need to very healthfully support that progesterone phase. The other thing that we want to do is we need to clear out our hormonal pathways, okay? Sometimes when we are estrogen dominant or even progesterone dominant, our body just doesn't process or assimilate or clear out those hormones appropriately. It's a process called methylation. Some of you have tried or are on the supplement DIM. This has been a life changer for a lot of us. For me personally, being on that supplement has changed my cycle. My cycle is so much healthier. It's about 3 days shorter. My pre-cycle symptoms, my crabbiness, those things are phenomenally improved. It's just crazy what that has done. And I didn't realize that I was someone who didn't methylate my hormones appropriately until I tested for it. So if that's something that you'd like more information about, let us know if you're experiencing some of these symptoms. But for the most part, you guys, we're bombarded by these phytoestrogens. So no matter where you're at, if you're experiencing some of these symptoms, gentlemen, if you find that you are having a hard time building strength, if you're finding that libido is low, if you're finding that there's just not a lot of spark, for guys, the signs that testosterone is in a healthy place, you should have some drive, you should have some get up and go, there should be some, tenacity. These are all signs that testosterone is healthy. And if you're finding that you just don't have that, you also feel like strength is not there, and again, that libido is not as healthy as we'd like it to be, this might be a sign that you really need to supplement, test, or look into where those hormone levels are at. And again, especially when it comes to testosterone, sometimes ladies are low on testosterone as well. Synthetic supplementation is not always the best answer, because ultimately what that's doing is telling our body, oh, I don't ever need to make that again. I'm taking care of it, we're supplementing with it, yeah, you don't need to make that hormone, when we know that's not what we want. So if we can supplement, or if we can encourage the body to produce more of the hormones that we are lacking, that's ideal, right? We're not just putting lipstick on a pig, or we're not just putting a Band-Aid on the issue, we're correcting the root cause. Okay, so let's talk about other ways that we can healthfully support our hormones. Both ladies and gentlemen, okay? We need to exercise daily, period. Like, there is no question about it. We need to move our body. So if you go a day, like literally waking up, sitting in a chair for work, maybe sitting at a sports event all night long, and you go back to sleep and you did not move, that is not in a healthy manner supporting your hormones. So we need to either exercise, go on a walk, get some movement in. That is really, really important. Secondly, you guys, fiber. I know as my clients, you guys hear this from me all the time. And again, if we have to supplement with this, do. No way am I going to say stop eating vegetables and just take a fiber supplement. That's not acceptable in my opinion. We need to eat vegetables. We need to eat whole grains. We need to eat fibrous foods. But having a healthy amount of fiber every single day, again, remember, methylation. If we have enough fiber in our daily diet, it's going to be absorbing those free radicals. It's going to be absorbing those phytoestrogens, and we're going to sweat, we're going to breathe, we're going to pee them out, which is exactly what we want. They're not going to sit in our body, hanging out, causing disruption. Moderate your alcohol. The other thing to consider is changing our deodorants or any artificial fragrances, body washes, things that we're using. These things are hormone disruptors. Alcohol is the #1 hormone disruptor because it's something that we all enjoy. It's something that we want to enjoy, and I'm not saying that you can't. But if you find that you're drinking an alcoholic beverage every single day, that can be a challenge on our hormones. So maybe we set a target to, I'm going to enjoy some wine or a beer or whatever it is 3 days a week. Maybe we start with 5. Maybe we start with 6. If we're drinking every day, maybe we go to 6 days. And then the next week we go to 5. And then the next week we try 4. Whatever it is that works for you, but giving your body some time to sort of rest, digest, recover, and support that healthy hormone production is going to be helpful. Again, our fragrances, those things can be very taxing. Just like alcohol, our body can see that as a poison. So if there's artificial fragrances in a lot of the things we're wearing, that can be an issue. Lastly, there was a third thing I wanted to talk about, but it's not in my notes. Fragrances. I guess that's probably it. Alcohol. Oh, processed foods. Additional hormones and things in our processed foods. Again, we have to find balance there, but if you can, do your best to eat whole real foods. 80% of the time, that's going to be really helpful. A lot of our milks, you'll see that RSBH, or I can't remember the acronym. You will see that those are hormone free. That's helpful. Leaning into those things is great. You guys know, and this is one of our points, is eating enough protein at every single meal. Why is eating enough protein at every single meal important for hormone balance? Because if we can balance blood sugar, we can balance hormone production. Blood sugar is the basis for all hormone regulation. So you getting in enough protein, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and at least one snack is really going to get our blood sugars balanced, and that in turn is going to produce healthy, happy hormones. That being said, that we're pushing you guys to consume a reasonable amount of protein. And so if you can get hormone-free meat, or, if you've got access to beef, from the local area, that's fantastic. Larry Schultz has organic chicken. Wherever you're at, if you can get some protein that has not been maybe processed with extra additional hormones, fantastic. If you can't, not a big deal. You're still crushing it because you're eating enough protein, you guys. So again, pick your battles. Okay, lastly, stress. Stress is a huge factor when it comes to hormone regulation. You guys, when we want healthy testosterone, we want to get stronger, right? We want to continue to gain muscle. Ladies, we want to get lean. We want to be able to lose fat efficiently. Managing cortisol levels are huge. Our body, when we are stressed to the max, when this is where we're at, right? When we are living every single day like this, our body is simply trying to manage all that stress. It doesn't care about producing healthy testosterone. It doesn't care about balancing progesterone and estrogen. What it cares about is, I've got cortisol pumping through my veins 24/7, and obviously there's an issue, so I am in fight mode. So we really have to find healthy ways to manage that cortisol. You've talked with your coach about it. We constantly are helping you, providing you with ways that we can reduce stress. Exercise can be a great way. Getting out in nature, going for a walk, engaging with friends and family. A gratitude journal can lower stress levels. All of those things are super important. Okay, the other thing that you can really do, again, is healthy fats. You guys getting those what did he call kinky cookies? You guys getting in those healthy fats through your seed cycling bites is a fantastic way to produce healthy testosterone, estrogen, progesterone. But also don't forget about our fatty fish. Think smash. Salmon, mackerel, anchovies, sardines, herring. Those are some of the fattiest, healthiest fish, obviously in moderation, and if you can get wild caught, we're gonna get more of those healthy omega-3s, but including those healthy fats in our diet every single day can be great. The other thing we wanna consider is sleep. Our sleep is the time when our brains recover, when our brains rest and restore. Did you know that your brain actually shrinks by about 10% so that it allows this fluid to come in and around, and basically it filters all of these toxins all while you sleep. It's just a beautiful thing when I think about the way we were designed for that brain to just shrink and just filter out those toxins so that we can awake sharp and focused and ready to crush the day. But if you're not sleeping deeply, if you're not sleeping well, your brain doesn't have time to rest and recover. And guess where hormones are made? In the brain. So if you are not having healthy restorative sleep, guess what? It's going to produce some hormone imbalance. So something to really, really keep in mind. We talked about eating enough protein at every single meal. You guys, those are the highlights. I hope that I helped you understand seed cycling and what and how that can benefit both gentlemen and ladies. And if you have more questions, reach out to me or reach out to your coach. We are here to support you in the healthiest way possible. Obviously, when we run labs and clients need additional supplementation, there is a time and a place for it, right? There absolutely is, you guys. But if we can help you live your best life, be energized, feel focused, have a healthy, happy cycle, have a healthy, happy sex drive and libido, these are things that affect our lives and that are really, really important. And so we want to help you in the best way possible. And it's so cool that food is medicine. All right, you guys, I hope you enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Make it a great day, and we will see you soon.